Are you excited?
Not really.
You're not excited? Okay, today we're reviewing geological processes, and uh, we're also going to use a partial close, which means there's gaps in the questions, which sort of determine how well you've understood some of our lessons. Our key vocabulary words: glaciers. You know what glaciers are, right? What do you think of when we talk about glaciers?
Glaciers are the big masses of ice.
And snow and ice,
yeah.
right. And what happens when a glacier gets of a certain size, say about 200 feet high and say 500 feet long? Does it stay there or does it move?
They move, right?
Right, it moves. And then, so that causes changes in the geology, local geology. And ice, of course, is a component. Also, wind and dust. Like in Utah, they have a lot of sandstone, and the wind and the dust actually has made some of the arches. Remember when we talked about some of the arches? Have you seen pictures of those stone arches? Mm-hmm. So wind and dust combined can actually change. That's another geological process. Rain itself can dissolve a lot of some of the soils. If you get a lot of rain, what happens when you get a lot of rain?
In like the south?
Wherever, yeah.
Flooding?
Even here, yeah, you get flooding.
Yeah.
And mountains themselves, the rain can affect them. Glaciers can affect the shape of mountains. So how are valleys formed?
They're from the glaciers carving out
right,
land, or from the weight and stuff.
Okay, and then we have tectonic plates. So tectonic plates move, and it causes mountains, right? Mm-hmm. That's what's caused our Cascades, and a long time ago that's what created the Rocky Mountains. When the tectonic plates move, they also, the bottom part that's way underneath in the magma, it melts, and so what does it create?
The what?
When you have a tectonic plate in a subduction zone, mm-hmm. and it keeps moving into that magma, and then that plate melts, and then what happens?
Is that the earthquakes that creates earthquakes?
Well, the volcano, I mean, when it moves, it does cause earthquakes. Mm. But when that tectonic plate melts, what happens? There's extra pressure there. There's more magma.
And then creates volcanoes?
Right, volcanoes. That's how you get basic volcanoes. Okay. Then, in some areas, when there wasn't a lake, like, say, Lake Kapausen, mm-hmm. It was caused by, it actually became bigger. It was initially by a part of a lobe from the glaciers 15,000 years ago, but it also increased. And some valleys, when they have a landslide, what happens? And there's a creek there. Mm-hmm. When you have a landslide in a valley, what happens? There's a creek there, there's water coming down. What happens when you have a landslide in that valley?
It fills it in.
It closes it in, and what's formed? What does it begin to form? A lake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and then we already discussed flooding, and we already discussed rivers. So rain contributes a lot. Also, rain can also, when it comes down through, it goes through. There's sulfur dioxide in the air. There's carbon dioxide, and it actually can form. Be acidic, and it can actually dissolve rock too. And then there's one other thing we didn't mention. If there's moisture and there's already a crack in a rock, and it freezes, what can happen to that rock?
It expands, doesn't it?
It can expand, but then if there's enough flaw, what can happen to that rock?
It breaks.
It can break, right? So we have an understanding of these are all geological processes. And this close is a test where we fill in the blanks. We'll work on this together.
Okay.
And we'll try to figure out what makes sense in each sentence.
Okay.
So let's work on that.
Okay.
So what do we got here? We have blank or very large blocks that form valleys in their path.
Oh, okay.
What do we think that
is? So that would be glaciers, or very large blocks of ice.
Yes. Let's use a pen.
Okay. Glaciers are very large blocks of ice that form valleys in their path.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, what wears and forms rivers? What forms rivers?
Wasn't it the landslides?
The landslide forms lakes. What does it have to do first?
Fast.
Why do we have rivers? What are rivers made from? What happens when to make rivers?
Water.
Yeah, and where does the water? What do we call that water?
The glaciers.
Uh,
The ice.
Actually, it rains, right?
Oh, the
It
rain.
rains.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
You went through that kind of
Yeah.
fast.
Let's.
So.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Let's try to. Let's start with rain.
Okay. Oh, okay. Rain.
Okay. Rain. And there we can say rain actually wears the mountains in small pieces. So let's. I think that's the best fit.
So rain
You
wears
or
mountains.
land, yeah. You can. We can say
Yeah.
land,
Would wear
land or
would
mountains,
be-
yeah.
Yeah.
Land or mountains.
Where's land?
Okay,
And where's land and forms rivers and lakes?
yes.
Wouldn't that be lakes? Yeah. Okay, so the rain is what I missed that part. Where the rain. Okay, I remember.
And that's why we have rivers and creeks and things,
Okay.
wetlands.
Oh, okay, so the
Okay.
rain saturates and then it floods through creating a river.
Okay. Right.
Okay, and a lake. Okay.
And now we have number 3.
Okay.
What do you think?
That was the sand and dust, wasn't it?
Dust
The-
and sand is the same thing, but you need something
The
else.
wind.
Right.
Yeah. So
Either
wind
it
and
doesn't-
dust or
right.
sand. Yeah. Wind and dust.
Sand is a form of
Sand,
dust.
sand, yeah, dust, sand,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Now number 4. You want to read it? Subduction.
So subduction tectonic plates, from what you were explaining, form. You're talking about magma. Well, they cause volcanoes.
Right.
So I know that they cause volcanoes. But what was the
What else do they make?
earthquakes?
They make
When
earthquakes.
they
That's true.
move.
Well, we're talking about geological process, and that earthquake is part of it. Yes. But they actually come down, and they actually, like the subduction one comes down, and it actually goes up like that. The other plate.
Okay.
So what do you have there?
Pressure.
Pressure. Yeah, but what does that pressure create? A
Oh.
geological form.
Landmass when it rises up.
Yeah. What does that landmass call when it rises
An
up?
island.
Well,
When it's in the ocean.
it's a ridge. It's a mountain. what we're
Oh,
talking about.
okay.
Yeah.
Mountains. Okay.
Yeah. So when it moves.
Oh, I see. Okay. So
subduction
subtectonic
is-
plates form mountains and cause volcanoes.
Right.
Okay. Okay, I would have said land, but okay. So mountains is what we're talking about. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so okay. Okay. So
Okay, so what forms and cracks and splits something?
So that would be. We were talking about ice.
Yes.
So it would be ice forms and cracks and splits rock.
Right.
Okay. So ice. Okay.
Okay. Number 6.
So that would be landslides
Right.
can create what was it? Lakes.
Right.
Okay, so landslides in mountains can create lakes.
Yeah. When you have
Can you explain that to me again? I
Okay.
didn't quite understand.
if you have a valley
Uh-huh.
in the mountain and part of the land is unstable, like remember when we go down the Auburn Valley, so a lot of times you see landslides.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you have a narrow valley and there's a landslide, there's a creek down, or there's always creeks in mountain valleys or
Okay.
streams. When that landslide comes down,
I see. So it
then
blocks
it
the
builds
water.
up. Yeah, right.
Okay, so it dams the water.
Right.
So landslides in mountains can create
Lakes.
lakes by making a dam.
Right.
Okay.
That's
Can I
right.
add that note here at the end so
Yeah,
I can understand
yeah.
better?
Sure.
Okay, so landslides. Mountains can create lakes by damming up
The creek.
The
river.
creeks and rivers. The creeks and rivers. Okay. And so this is the final question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can change the path of a...
This
so-
might be.
So
What's going on in the south right now, in Texas?
Flooding.
Right. So
Would that be
and sometimes
so-
the path of the river changes. when you
yeah,
have
so flooding can change the path of a river.
Right.
Okay.
And that's actually happened a lot. Down in the Ording Valley, you have the Puyallup River, and you have the White River, and you have the Green River, and some of those rivers have changed paths and interconnected with each other over time.
Wow.
But now that we have the Hansen Dam, that no longer takes place.
Okay.
So, okay, that's the end of our lesson.
Okay.
Okay, you did pretty good. Congratulations.